Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're doing another full flight here from Lahore to Kuala Lumpur. This flight I should have done a while ago, but I don't know why I've been putting it off. It's basically a flight between my, kind of my two homes, you could say, from Pakistan to Malaysia. Today's flight time would be roughly around, I would say, 5.5 hours. The distance today is around 2,628 nautical miles. We're going to be flying this Boeing 777-200ER all the way to Kuala Lumpur today, rocking this beautiful PIA Pakistan International livery. So without further ado, I'm going to hop into the cockpit, get this aircraft configured up for pushback and departure, and I'll meet you guys when we're ready for the taxi. Or no, when we're ready for engine start. I'll see you guys at engine start. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I have configured this aircraft for pushback and departure. We're going to be getting the pushback underway shortly, but before that, we're going to have to turn on the APU. Turn on the APU, very simple on the Boeing. Just come up here and flick the switch to on, start, and then the APU should be available in a bit. It should give us an APU running message on the ECAM, and then we can turn on the APU generators. While we wait for that, let me just walk you guys through the departure. We're going to be doing the Mima 2 Echo departure here today out of Lahore. Our departure involves us taking off from runway 18, I believe. Yeah, runway 18 left, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to basically just fly out and take a right-hand turn from there. If I could step through. Yeah, so basically we're going to be taking off from runway 18 left, as you can see. Fly out straight and take a left-hand turn, basically, for us. And after that, we're going to continue on to the next waypoint, which is Juliet Sierra. This is over India, so that's gonna be a while. But anyways, sorry for babbling on. The APU is now running. We can go up here and turn on the APU generator. With that being said, we can disconnect external power. And with that being said, we are ready for pushback. So again, GSX gets very janky with these Captain Sim products. So I'm gonna get the pushback completed, and then I'll meet you guys once we're ready for the taxi. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have pushed back here at Lahore. We're going to be hopping into the cockpit, getting our engine started just a bit, but before that, let's appreciate this. The scenery is freeware, that's why the quality is a bit not up to par, but still beautiful Lahore scenery. It's better than the generic one. We have an Etihad A321 parked there, an Air Arabia, and another Pakistan. I believe there's Norwegian, KLM, and the Peach ones are probably not realistic, but yeah. Etihad, Air Arabia, and Pakistan, definitely their PIA. We have a TAP Portugal and on blank livery, and a PIA ATR parked here too. I believe the ATR is probably going to be going to somewhere like Skurdu or something, but interesting. Anyways, we have our beautiful livery here, our beautiful Boeing 777-200 LR. And with that being said, I think we're ready to hop into the cockpit and get the engine started. To start engines, pretty simple. First things first, turn on the beacon lights. And we can just hop out, quickly verify that the beacon light is on. Yes. Once that is activated, we can go up here and flick the starter, engine number 2 first, to start. Then we're going to make our way down to the ECAM, and we will observe this and watch the EGT and N1 rise up.
Clear to start engines.
Okay, GSX, thank you for that very obvious permission I did not need. But anyways, let's watch the engine spool up real quick. And once it reaches 1.0, we can throw in the fuel. Alright, once engine number 2 is started up, we can see here to know it's a good start when it gives us the bleed off warning. We can go up here and turn on the bleed for engine number 2. With that being said, we can also start engine number 1. So same procedure again, come up here, flick the starter to start, and go down here and throw in the fuel when it's ready. Alright, we can see the N1 has risen to 1, so we can throw in the fuel now. Alright, while we wait for engine number 1 to start up, we can also throw in the flaps. So let's set flaps now, and flaps 15. Alright, once flaps have been set, we can see that it's the green, 15 turns green. With that being said, engine number 1 is also active, so we can turn on the bleed. Once bleed for both engines is on, we can turn off the APU. It's standard procedure to leave the APU gen switch on, so when at landing it turns on, you have to forget about it. It's a whole thing. But yeah, APU is off. The aircraft is now on its own power. With that being said, taxi lights, everything is on. We are ready for taxi. So guys, I'm gonna taxi over to the whole short line here at runway 18, and I will call you guys once we're there. It's a pretty short taxi, so yeah, stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, please understand the safety procedure. During flight, keep your seatbelts fastened, as you may encounter turbulence unexpectedly. To fasten seatbelt, insert the flat metal end into the buckle, then pull the strap to tighten it. To open, lift the latch. Use of mobile phones is not permitted. Laptop computer.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it here to the whole short line for runway 18 left. As we can see, we can verify visually, yep, runway 18 left. So with that being said, I think we're ready for takeoff. So we'll come up here, turn on the landing lights, turn on the strobe lights, and set this to RTO. And with that being said, we are ready for takeoff. Flaps are set, everything's looking good. So we're gonna taxi onto the runway and get this takeoff underway. As you can see, pretty poor visibility here in Lahore today. I believe it's due to smog and stuff like that. Lahore, kind of very polluted city here, but nonetheless, it's okay. We make do with it. But yeah, very poor visibility, I must say. And let's see, I don't think we'll be able to see much on departure after, in terms of scenery. But hopefully we'll be able to catch something better than nothing. But yeah, I'm going to be hand flying this aircraft, hopefully, for the first turn at least. And yeah, we'll go from there. With that being said, we're taxiing onto the runway now, runway 18 left. Lahore has 2 runways, but I think the other runway is closed for maintenance or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, and it's a shorter runway, so that's why we're using this runway, 18 left. And as you can see, just absolutely no visibility down the other end. So yeah, you can barely see the terminal in the distance itself, but anyways, here we are, lined up. And with that being said, let's get this departure underway. So we're gonna be setting throttles to 50%. Alright, auto brake goes there again. Sorry, throttles to 50%. Once they seem kind of stabilized, keep the aircraft center, we can go toga. Alright, speed is building up nicely. The aircraft's really building into power slowly. We're making sure we use the entire length of the runway. That's what toga is all about. We're trusting the autopilot to be able to get us enough power by the time we get to the end. So far so good. We're crossing the terminal now. Maybe we're above 100 knots. Doing good. V1. I'm just gonna gently pull back on the stick as we rotate. Okay. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the cockpit of this Boeing 777-200LR rocking the beautiful Pakistan International Airlines liveries. We are currently over Malaysia. We are approaching Kuala Lumpur Airport. We are approximately 178 nautical miles away from our destination, from the runway threshold. And this is what I would say is the top of descent, and we're going to be starting our descent very shortly. But before that, can we just appreciate the beauty here on offer? Like, look at how magnificent the sky looks and how beautiful the cockpit looks. Honestly, it's marvelous, as you can see. Right, they're 172 nautical miles. If we look at our legs, we're coming in and runway ILS 32 left using the Kaka 1 Juliet arrival. So as you can see, it just involves descending, doing a turn, and just lining up and landing onto the runway. So 170 nautical miles. We're going to check out our legs first. The most obvious leg for us to make here is 11,000 at Nagla, which I believe is one of these. So I'm going to aim for around 80 nautical miles to get to 11,000. So I'm going to get this aircraft configured up, get this descent going, and I hope you guys enjoy the time lapse, this beautiful evening time lapse into Kuala Lumpur. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the cockpit of this Boeing 777. As you just heard the beep, we are 1,000 feet from our final altitude right now. I've begun slowing down the aircraft here. Flaps are coming out. As we're going to be turning in for final shortly, I brought you guys back into the cockpit with me kind of early from your time lapse because I didn't want to risk having a bad landing here because, I mean, after 6 hours of flying, who would want to have a bad landing? But anyways, we're going to set barometers and everything. QNH should be set. Everything is looking good. We're going to keep slowing down the aircraft right now because again we are basically on final. We're going to throw in another notch of flaps, set auto brakes to 2, set our final approach speed for 145 knots. As the speed's coming down, we're just going to keep bringing out the flaps here. I have already configured the overhead. All the lights that are on, that should be on, are on. Everything's looking good, and the aircraft should be maintaining altitude. We're just going to throw in all the flaps now. If we can hopefully get to a view where we can see the flap being extended. It's way too dark to see anything, but also because of this, speed brake can go armed. That should be fine. I'm going to turn on wing lights as well. You can see the flaps are coming out. Beautiful timing here though. It's going to be night by the time we land actually. Completely sunset. But yeah, awesome. Also, why are we still descending? We should not be descending anymore. Aircraft? Airplane? Aeroplane? Aeroplane? I'm sorry guys, this shouldn't be happening. Maybe pitch up. Okay, I'm just gonna stabilize this hopefully. Alright, I'm gonna turn on localizer if I can. I'm just gonna get the aircraft to climb up again. I'm gonna set this higher. 148 knots maybe. Localizer has been set. That wasn't very realistic, that dip the aircraft just had, and the vertical speed is... Okay, this is nice. I'm gonna set this to 3,000 now. I believe 3,000 is better. It's more appropriate. Come on, hold the altitude. There we go, and we're gonna turn on the approach mode. So catch the glide slope once that comes in. Speed wise, we're looking good. Speed brakes are in. Every auto brake is good. We're on descent speed. We have visual with the runway. You can see right over there, I believe. That is the runway we're aiming for. Coming in on the localizer pretty well. I don't know why the aircraft did that little hopscotch maneuver it pulled, where it descended down even though the altitude should have reached the altitude, but it's okay. You know, happens sometimes. As you can see, flaps are down all the way. Beautiful aircraft here, PIA livery. Yeah, and the city of Kuala Lumpur that we're overflying right now. Well, the air we're actually landing in is Sepang. We actually left Kuala Lumpur behind. Sepang is quite far from Kuala Lumpur, I should know. But anyways, it's climbing a bit right now because I think it's trying to grab the glide slope, hopefully. It's gonna manually. So I'm gonna start hand flying the aircraft the second I capture glide slope. I don't want to risk anything. We're gonna bring gear down now as well. But you can see gears coming down. Alright, gears down nicely, all lights are on. Everything looking good. I'm going to disconnect autopilot and hand fly this aircraft in now. Make sure my flight recorder is working. Alright. That being said, I'm going to disconnect autopilot, because I do not trust the autopilot on this aircraft a bit. Not at all. I have absolutely zero faith in it. So we're going to just bring the joystick closer to me. Okay. So this is going to be a pretty long approach here. We're pretty slow. We are still, I think, we're 10 nautical miles out. Right? This is a 10 nautical mile final. Yeah, there we go, 2500. I'm trying to just follow these flight directors. Again, I'm sorry, I apologize if my commentary is not entertaining. I'm just trying to get this aircraft on the ground after all that flying. But as you can see, we're a bit off to the left. We're going to skew our way to the right over here. The autopilot on these Captain Sim aircraft is very dodgy because I'm using salty compatibility mod and a few other mods to make this a realistic 777 and not just a 777 skin on top of the 747 systems like it is. So I could be conflicting with those. Captain Sim did drop a recent update, but the mod hasn't been updated yet, so I'm still using the older version of it. And right now we're coming in, I think, a bit low on our descent. It's gonna pitch up a bit. I'm just gonna try and stay constant altitude here. I'm trying to get my markers to the... trying to line myself up properly. And I think I'm coming in a bit too low. So I am going to increase my altitude, while also bringing myself over to the right a bit. This might be a long video considering the fact that I've ended the descent early and I'm flying hand flying it all the way. But no, this is a test of my flying skills as well. I think this is the first time I've hand flown this approach from so far. Usually I let the autopilot do it until we're at like 1500 feet, but today, with everything the way it was acting, I decided it's better to hand fly this aircraft. Even on the departure, I did do some extended hand flying because of Captain Sim just not wanting to cooperate, but it's okay. It's okay, we allow it. I think you can see in the distance there, if you look right above the second runway on the left there, you can see the navigation lights of an aircraft that's, I think, on approach there as well. I believe those are Air Asia, because that's the KLIA 2 terminal, and it's exclusively used by Air Asia, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, and we are off center wildly, so I'm gonna just bring us about, and let's keep following the purple diamonds there to stay on descent, and we should be lining up now. Okay, trying to be gentle with the aircraft here. We don't want to mess it up. 1000 call out verified. We're lined up properly, I believe, this time. Just trying to stay on the glide slope. The best way to stay on the glide slope is use the purple diamonds as reference, because they're basically your ILS systems guiding you in. So again, I'm skewing off to the left again and again, even though I'm banking to the right constantly. And we're getting a bit of stutters there as this Kuala Lumpur airport scenery is loading in, I believe. Again, I feel I'm not coming in straight right now. I'm definitely going to be off center, I believe, here. Okay. Very stuttery approach here. And we're too high. Okay. I'm going to disconnect auto throttle. I just rubbed my mic. I'm sorry if volumes just got affected by that. Okay. Perfect approach. Visual only now. And I'm going to idle the aircraft. Okay. Flare. I think we bumped a bit, but a landing nonetheless. Reverser is active, and we're slowing down nicely. Just disconnect auto brake, and 60 knots reversers can come in, and we're going to be taking the high-speed exit over there in front of us to the right, and we're going to be taxiing over to terminal number C, which is, I believe, the terminal used for all international departures here at Kuala Lumpur. It's going to be a bit of a long taxi here, folks. So I'm going to pull over to the side here. Over to the right, if I can get the aircraft turned. Alright, there you go. Slow it down nicely. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I have pulled over here. It's going to be a fairly long taxi to Terminal C. I am going to stop the aircraft here. I'm going to clean up the aircraft, bring flaps up, all the, basically do everything. Flaps up and everything. And I will begin the taxi and I will see you guys at the gate. Hope you enjoy the landing from a few different perspectives.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Minimums. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the terminal here, Terminal C at Kuala Lumpur. As you can see, we got the Maybank jetway over there. With having made to the terminal, we can turn off the engine. So for engines, we can first verify that the APU is on, and APU is on, and that is good. We can now turn off the engines. To turn off the engines, very simple. We just come over and flick the fuel levers to off. So we're going to be doing that now. Alright, with the engines being turned off, we can turn off the beacon lights. And we can turn off the wing lights as well. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed another beautiful flight here. Well, thank you for watching, coming to my channel, showing your love and support. If you guys have any suggestions, improvements, comments, so on and so forth, do leave them in the comments below, and I will definitely be improving on them next time. I also do want to mention that now I'll probably be switching to a weekly upload schedule due to my university starting again and holidays being finished, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is all from me. Thank you for watching, and we hope you had a good one. I'll catch you in the next flight. Good night.